Welcome to the Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm the editor, Charlie Eisenhood. Joining me is Josh Mansfield on this Tuesday, November 19th. Yeah, a little bit of a time warp. No shows last week. Josh and I were both traveling at the beginning of the week, and then I just got brutally sick. Josh, I'm still sick. You
I can
might
hear
be able
it.
to tell in my voice that I'm still
I,
sick.
I can hear it.
Not great. Not great.
Do not recommend. I also got sick on Saturday, which was my wife's birthday. So that was
No.
I know. I felt terrible.
Did you have to bail on stuff, or did you just power through?
We made it through everything, and then I got sick in the evening and was sick all day Sunday. So yeah.
Tough. It's that time of year though, right?
It is. It absolutely is.
The child comes home from the daycare. Just vector. Ay. Well, the holidays are almost here. I hope folks are looking forward to Thanksgiving. For me, maybe my number 2 holiday behind Christmas. They pack in the good stuff at the end of the year here.
They really do. I really like Thanksgiving.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do you take it over Christmas though?
It's close because Christmas is a lot of work. And Thanksgiving just isn't. Thanksgiving's just like go eat food. And I help cook, mind you. Like I it's not like I'm just showing up, I'm not just some freeloader. I participate in the meal, but just show up and eat a lot of food and then watch a lot of football. Like, man, it's hard to beat. That's hard to beat.
It's really hard to beat. Yeah. Yeah, I'm full cooking the meal this year.
Oh, nice.
So it's fun. I actually really enjoy it. It's like a big math problem to make sure all the food comes out hot and on time.
Absolutely is. Don't you have like a famous gravy or something that you make?
I do make a pretty killer gravy.
Okay, I remember you saying that.
So I'll just for the people at home who are maybe thinking about making a gravy, you can look at a recipe, of course, but the basic concept is start with homemade chicken stock. That's the base. Then you're sauteing like turkey neck and giblets with onions and carrots and celery. So you're and whatever else you want to put in there. So you're making a double stock. So once you get that all browned up, you add the chicken stock, deglaze the pan, cook that for an hour. So you're making a fortified stock, and then you're making like a full roux and adding that in to thicken, and then there you go.
Sounds great.
It's very good. It's well worth doing, even if you use like a box of chicken stock. If you don't have your own, that's fine. It's like so much better than like the packet of gravy or like making kind of like a lazy gravy. It's really worth it because like the gravy kind of makes the whole plate work. I think.
It goes on everything. You just dump it on everything. Yeah,
exactly.
So a good gravy covers anything.
Yeah. What kind of cranberry sauce do you go with?
I'm never in charge of it. I don't know. Whatever my grandma.
They make one homemade or they get the can.
They probably get the can. If I had to bet
it's like
money.
The jelly slices.
Well, I don't know if they, but it's not. No, I spoon it on. It's not slices when they serve it. So I don't know if they do a good job hiding it or if they actually make it homemade.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Another easy one to make at home.
Yes.
I like the can. I get the can, but I also make a fresh one now.
Okay.
This one's from my wife's mother. You take a bag of cranberries, put it in the blender. You put in an entire orange.
Okay.
And then you add, I don't remember how much sugar. I mean, you can basically do it to taste. You need some sugar, though, because cranberries are pretty tart. And then you just blend it. Done.
That's it.
I'll
have to try that.
So I think maybe half cup sugar.
Okay.
But like you could always do it and taste it and see if you like it. And if it's not enough, add more. That's literally it.
That's easy. That is easy.
It's so easy. And it costs like $3. And then it's really good because it's very like acidic, bright flavor on an otherwise brown plate.
Because the one thing about canned is like it's not that acidic fresh.
No.
It is.
It's good.
It's so good.
But it's a different beast. All right. I'm going to be honest with you. We got a weird show for you today.
It's so weird.
This is a strange time. Like, even compared to other years, the news drop off has been just severe.
Yes.
Like, we missed a whole week of shows, and it doesn't matter because you didn't miss anything. You missed nothing. So we're going to kind of catch up on a few sort of random assorted things today. I do have a PDGA Minute for you with some interesting things coming out of the PDGA world. And, we'll start getting some sponsorship news starting to trickle in here over the next few weeks. Although the way things have gone with the lawsuits and how tumultuous last year was, I do think a lot of our sponsorship news is going to be contained to after the 1st of January.
I think so too.
I have gotten some emails. I've gotten some emails that are saying things like there's an announcement that's going to shock the disc golf world. I'll tell you more about it when it happens, like from random people. So, hey, every year I say it's not going to be that crazy. Now I have no expectations. I'm just ready for it to be crazy.
Here's the thing. We get those emails and like, I want to dismiss them and just be like, oh, whatever. Right. Like it's just some rando, like, but we knew, like we had people emailing us about Simon and before Simon happened. And it's just so hard. Cause like, we can't confirm that. It's so, we can't figure out if it's legit or just someone pranking us. And so
I made some calls. I talked to some people who would know and I thought might tell me more. And they were like basically lying to me.
Yeah. They kept it under wraps pretty well.
I mean, in so much that like nobody would give an official confirmation.
Right. But remember Ricky, it was like Ricky to DD and everyone knew it was a done deal.
Yeah. It was like
and the only thing we didn't know about was the helicopter. So the Simon was done much better than the Ricky one was.
Yeah. I think I have not really heard specific rumors yet, nor have I seen them around. So
just feels quiet.
I think it's just a little bit more, people are reading into stuff that maybe they shouldn't be reading into. Someone's like, oh, Isaac Robinson just posted about new Prodigy discs. I'm like, yeah, because he's paid by them to promote their products until the end of the year. Like, I'm not going to like assume that means he's staying with them.
The top comment on that Instagram video was blink twice if you're being held hostage.
It's not being held hostage. He's literally being paid by the company to promote their products. All right. I think here's my question to you.
Okay.
Over under 1.5 broken contracts for new deals, not free agency deals.
Oh man. Give me the under. Yeah, I'm going to take the under here. I think that you can still have a crazy year without a bunch of them. There may be one, big exciting one that happens, and I'm willing to kind of see that as a possibility. But otherwise, like I just don't see who it would be. A lot of the players who I think are most likely to want to try and make a big move are all players who are free agents anyway. And so the only. Yeah, I really don't even know who it would be that would even like be in consideration of like somebody who made a big splash or a significant change of play during this last season who's under a longer deal. I don't know who that would be.
I hear you. I mean, like candidates for me would be Kristen.
Does a renewal or does a renegotiation count?
No.
Okay.
I still think that's the most likely outcome, but like if we're looking for a crazy shocker,
sure.
Kristen leaving Latitude, and like, is it impossible?
It's definitely not impossible.
Like, financially things aren't that great at House of Disc, as we know. Obviously, I'm sure that they can afford to pay Kristen for another year, but maybe they want to like do a buyout, get a big paycheck, and Kristen lands somewhere else. It's not impossible. I mean, that's the kind of crazy thing that could happen, right? What's tended to happen is very high profile, marketable players, snapping out of a contract early or changing teams in a way that surprises us. But I'm no longer going to be surprised by people switching.
I'll give you what I think is most likely in my mind is I'm going to say Kyle Klein flips somewhere else a little bit smaller where he could be top dog.
I don't know. I don't really see it. But maybe.
I don't either. But like now that Gannon's there, I mean, yes, Kyle benefits from that somewhat, but like he used to be the guy at Discmania, and this is not the case anymore.
I'm scrolling through the list and like I feel kind of the same way where I'm like, I mean, who's going to make a move that didn't just make a move?
And here's the problem. Like, you want to talk about shocking that maybe get a move. Like, does Ricky make a move? The problem is I don't know who picks up his contract at that. Or like pays him enough money to make it worth his while. Like, that's another idea who's shocking to me. But why would he go anywhere? He's got another $1 million next year.
Right. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
People are saying there's going to be some shockers. So
listen, I really think the biggest shocker that's still a free agent consideration, though, like Anthony Barella would be the shocker, right? Anthony Barella or Isaac Robinson's announcement.
Well, Barella's up for a new deal. So
exactly.
It's kind of funny. Like, I feel like people haven't really been talking about him people have really been talking about Isaac, but I think honestly, is AB the bigger get?
It might be.
Like, put yourself in the shoes. You run company of your choice, and you have money to allocate to one top MPO player. Who are you choosing?
Who's a free agent this year?
Free agent.
Yeah, it's probably AB. Like,
he's number one on the free agency list, right?
Yeah,
from a marketing perspective,
yeah.
I think you have to say that he is the guy. Now, I get it, right? Isaac's won 2 Worlds in a row. He's at Prodigy, which creates all of this friction because of what we've seen over there. Prodigy just put out an interesting statement, kind of like acknowledging some of their quality control issues over the last few years, like a long multi-paragraph thing, and talking about how, their new discs are really a lot better, that they're moving more of their manufacturing into the United States. I think it's a really good sign that they're sort of acknowledging some of the shortcomings, and anybody can rehab their brand. We've seen it. And it would be a nice move for Prodigy, I think, to retain a top pro like Isaac or to make a crazy signing. Because I think that it's not like they're fundamentally unable to produce nice quality discs. I've seen some people saying I throw exclusively Prodigy because they're good discs and I can get them for cheap.
Here's the thing though. Imagine if you're Anthony Barella, I would say show me what your disc sales look like. I want you to open the books. I want to see all disc sales from your top players for the past 5 years. And I'm going to show you exactly what I make right now in sales at Discraft. And You're going to make the delta a salary. You're going to increase my salary to the level that I'm not confident I'm going to sell stuff at your company. And that's a lot of money I think they'd have to commit for a player like AB.
A lot of people up for new deals, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's the other reason it's hard to pick the big splashy contract break. It's just how many people are up for new deals. And you've got the whole range, right? You've got top players like AB and Isaac that you can go get if you need a top guy. But you also have, kind of guys who hang around, are good, but maybe aren't your top guys. You've got Joel Freeman. We talked about this list before, obviously, but Cole Redallen, Ella Hansen, Ben Calloway. So you really have from top to bottom opportunities all the way through the spectrum if you're a company. Yeah. And so I think we might have some crazy movement. I just don't think it's going to be with a player who's under contract still for next year.
All right. Well, let's get to some other stuff. how about this? Ricky's Bitcoin bonus. Haven't checked in on this in a while. It is now, so Bitcoin, as we speak, is at an all-time high. Current price of Bitcoin, as we record this podcast, $92,029.25. I guess it's ever so slightly off the all-time high from like an hour ago. His Bitcoin bonus, $250,000 paid out to him in 2022. Remember, it immediately went into like a pretty significant, like 50% drawdown. It is now worth $493,000. He's up almost 100% on the Bitcoin, and absolutely blowing away, having an index fund in the S&P 500.
Yeah.
Ricky, last laugh.
Well, okay.
Bitcoin to the moon.
Listen. It's hard to say last laugh with Bitcoin because like tomorrow that could be worth $50. I mean, it the way Bitcoin does its number. Now, Ricky's up, right? Ricky is laughing for sure. Here's my question, Charlie. I've been thinking about this every time I think about Ricky's Bitcoin. I don't know if I've ever asked you. You probably would know this better than I would. What's the difference between Ricky taking a $250,000 bonus in Bitcoin and taking a $250,000 bonus and then investing it in Bitcoin? Is it taxes?
No. There's going to be no difference from a taxation perspective.
So it's just pure like publicity.
I mean, I suppose that maybe a tax accountant could do some sort of creative thing where like, but no, I think it counts as $250,000 of income.
Okay.
And you pay taxes on the income, and then it's an investment that you have, and then if and when he sells, he will pay capital gains tax.
Sure, but no functional difference between just taking a normal bonus.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
But I am not a tax professional, so I will ask my brother, who is in the process of becoming an IRS agent that carries a gun in the enforcement wing.
I didn't know IRS.
And I guess guns. I'm like hoping he's like just getting started. I'm hoping that he's got a master's in accounting. I'm hoping that he doesn't lose his job immediately because like Trump comes in and slashes the IRS jobs. Man, it's possible. I mean, you never know.
Oh yeah, for sure. The irony of like the fact that they named that department Doge.
It's just I don't.
Did nobody go? Please don't like this.
I don't even know.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, people are going to start communicating inside of the federal government with like the Doge memes to warn them when Elon Musk is going to come by. Oh my gosh.
What do you got? Let's ping pong topics here.
Okay, here's my topic for you. We've got the WIFDF World Team Disc Golf Championships.
Ah, yes. So
this is a team-based format that I think is probably more convoluted than even like the college national championships. But 16 countries go and compete. Estonia wins again. And it's worth noting that Estonia sent, like minus Kristen, a real lineup of professional players who you would recognize, whereas most of the other teams did not, right? Like you don't have any of the top touring US players on Team US. There was one interesting clip that I saw circulating. Team Canada had a putt in order to win their semifinal matchup and advance to the finals against Estonia. And they putt and it hits the chains. It looks great. He turns around and fist bumps, and then behind him the disc falls out of the basket, and Team Canada's knocked down to the bronze medal match as a result.
That's a painful spit out.
It's tough,
but the putt was high.
It was not that high, Charlie.
It was hot. It was too high.
It was not that high.
It was. I know it was still a spit out, but it was not like a egregious.
No, it was an egregious spit out. It was an egregious spit out.
Yeah, I mean, the full turnaround fist pump, and like as the disc is falling out of the basket, that's brutal, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Shout out to Estonia. Albert Tom was there. and let's see, Katie Alsalu, Katie Tate, Anneli Togias Moneste. No Kristen, but otherwise they had a lot of the best players in Estonia there representing them. The tournament was in Australia. And, you know, like there was some live coverage over on YouTube. Like this tournament has potential long run to become something that's interesting, especially if they hold it in the off season like this. This is part of the build up towards having disc golf in international events again, which of course is coming next year at the World Games in China.
Yep.
Now I'm going to personally make my plea right here.
Okay.
Please, PDGA, Disc Golf Pro Tour, and professional players, take advantage of the opportunity to represent your country at the highest possible international event that we have for disc golf, like a multi-sport international event. I know that this is not something that players are going to prioritize. You're not going to win a big fat payday for going to this, but I would really love to see the best countries send a legitimate delegation of strong players to compete in this event. Disc sports are so big in China right now. I don't think people really realize how quickly disc sports are growing there. Thousands and thousands and thousands of players. I know that the Chinese sent 5 players to Junior Worlds this year. That's
incredible.
Think about that, right? To get them here.
Yeah.
For Junior Worlds.
Junior Worlds. Yeah.
Junior Worlds.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the level is not what you see in the established US, Canada, European countries.
Yet. Yeah.
And the World Games is going to be a very interesting opportunity. And I really hope that we see players take it seriously and like want to go and compete to represent their country. So if you're a pro and you're listening to this, take a look. It's in a reasonable spot in the calendar. The dates are mid-August. So I'm pretty sure it falls like right after the European majors, Worlds and European major. And you're already halfway there. Continue on to China. I think it would be so much fun. Speaking as somebody who watches this event in Ultimate, and it truly is awesome. It's like the Olympics for disc golf or for Ultimate. It could be the same for disc golf, but only if the top players go. If it's like random people who are like, you know, 10.05 rated, it's just not going to capture the interest of the disc golf fan base, and it just won't be that fun. But I think if we see elite pros go and take that week off to go and do that, it's only a couple days long, the tournament, like, and it's in the middle of the week, I'm pretty sure. So like, you wouldn't even necessarily have to miss a tournament. I just really hope that, you know, disc federations can help those players pay for this trip and make it worth their time to see players compete for a gold medal in a country-based format, which we just don't really have in disc golf right now.
Please go. I think it would be so exciting.
I would be hyped.
And like you said, it's something that disc golf just doesn't have right now. So,
next topic, mine.
Okay.
Mystery box video is finally out. Check it out on our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Ultra Disc Golf YouTube. Last winter I bought as many mystery boxes as I could possibly get, and I unboxed them all and listed a bunch of data and stuff about them. I've already gotten a bunch of emails with people interested in buying particular discs or items. And what I'm going to do, Josh, I just was thinking about this. I'm going to initially go through and, you know, take bids on stuff, sell to the highest bidder, the stuff that people really want. I got a first run yarn. People are pretty hyped about that.
Oh, okay.
I have to go see if I have the original tooling or not.
Okay. Okay.
But so I'm going to sell that stuff.
Yeah.
And then with whatever's left over, I'm going to make my own mystery boxes. Upshot mystery boxes coming your way. I will give you a great price. I will not charge you for shipping. And you're going to get a great price per disc. So you can get your own Upshot mystery box with some smattering of things from the mystery boxes. Maybe something off of my wall. Maybe something from this giant stack of disc golf discs I have sitting over here to my left. So you don't know what you're going to get.
Love it. I love that. Okay, there it is. Look out for the Ulti-World mystery boxes.
It's coming soon. Okay. What's next?
This story is just, it's so PDGA. Kristen Tatar is back to 1,000 rated. Congratulations to Kristen.
Very nice, Kristen.
For a short period of time, Kristen had set a new record for the highest rating ever. She was initially rated 1,001. And then the PDGA realized that it erroneously included Throw Pink's ratings in that rating, and they had to adjust her down back to 1,000.
And like in the meantime, there'd been like a lot of like marketing posts and Kristen posting 1,001 on her Instagram and stuff. Yeah.
Come on.
I'm not really sure how they didn't catch that, to be honest. Because like, isn't it automatically an XA tier that doesn't get included? I guess I don't quite understand. To me, it just like opens up the whole conversation about like, why isn't that tournament rated?
Why is it not a major? What's going on? Here's the other part that I just think is so funny about this. Like, imagine you're at the PDGA and you go to publish this and you go, wow, Kristen had 1,001 rated, and nobody went, really? That's incredible. Like, let's look at that. Let's we're probably going to make a post as well about it. We should go check that.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Not the best.
I don't know what I want you to tell me. It's just
Disc Golf Pro Tour announcing that they have come to an agreement with YLE, which is a public broadcaster in Finland, to air the 2025 Pro World Championships next summer. So FPO and MPO divisions will be aired live on YLE for all 5 rounds. DGN will provide the baseline stream and graphics package with a mix minus so that the YLE can add Finnish commentary for distribution over the air. It reaches 60% of Finns every week, this channel, and 97% of Finns each year, according to the DGPT post about this. So, obviously this is a big deal, to be able to get the production out on, and I'm sure that the YLE is paying the Pro Tour maybe a fairly substantial sum, because, Pro Tour obviously is like, well, by making this free over the air, like, we are losing out on however much revenue they think it's going to be. It could be a lot. And like, listen to this, right? This is a quote from Doug Bjerkes.
Okay.
Actually, let me start with the head of sports rights at YLE. Visibility and overall interest in disc golf have grown rapidly in recent years here in Finland. We aim to give the sport a heavier footprint by being a domestic media partner for the 2025 PDGA Professional Disc Golf World Championships. Doug Bjerkes says the addition of disc golf to YLE's sports portfolio alongside major sporting events like the Olympics, the World Cup, and professional ice hockey is a testament to how disc golf continues to grow in Finland. So, like, this is like a major broadcast. Like, this is like ESPN-ish level stuff.
This isn't CBS Sports.
Right. YLE was the world's first national TV station to broadcast live disc golf back in 2013.
Wow.
How about that? So I'm excited. They Jeff Spring, or the media director for DGPT Europe, is talking about looking for potential partnerships with broadcasting groups in Estonia, Norway, and Sweden. So, selling media rights to national television channels in Europe, like, this is a new potential revenue stream for disc golf. Finland now has 1,000 disc golf courses, by the way.
That's so cool.
How awesome is that?
It's so cool.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we're going to talk a little PDGA. I got a PDGA Minute for you, catching up on all things from the Professional Disc Golf Association. We'll be right back. The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. Check out some brand new marine and sage-colored Octothorpes. Absolutely beautiful new colorway available. How about also the Vagabond, the little shoulder carry bag? Love it. They've got the Cryptek Typhon and Red back in stock. Just such beautiful bags. I mean, not only are they super versatile and they've thought of everything in terms of where the pockets are and the capacity, all that, but they just look great. They're just a high quality product. So go to pounddiscgolf.com and find the bag of your dreams today. Well, temperatures are dropping, days are shorter, but our day-to-day stresses remain the same. As we wind down 2024, you deserve to rest and recharge. Thankfully, one of our sponsors can help with that. Folks over at Sunset Lake have kicked off their Black Friday sale. Right now, you can save 30% site-wide when you head to sunsetlakecbd.com and use the code FRIDAY. They've got everything you need to chill out and enjoy your time this holiday season, from tinctures to gummies to topicals and even products for your pets. Sunset Lake is even throwing in some freebies this year. If your order's over $100, they'll give you a free 20-count jar of Relax Functional Mushroom Gummies. And if it's over $200, you'll get a 20-count jar of the same. I tell you what, they've got the new non-melatonin sleep gummies that have just a little bit of THC in them. Really, really nice. Super nice way to relax at the end of the day and get some great sleep. So head over to sunsetlakecbd.com and use the code FRIDAY to save 30%. See their site for terms and conditions. Welcome back to the Upshot. It's time for the PDGA Minute. Let's begin. The PDGA has developed a process for random equipment checks at elite and major events. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is in support of this already, according to the PDGA board minutes. And there's also a little bit more chatter in the minutes from the board meetings about banned substances list update and more drug testing. So I think we're going to start seeing players actually, it's like when the umpire comes to check the glove, right? Like, I guess they're going to just be like, hey, let me see that disc. And I don't know when they're going to get the calipers out, get the scale out, but like, got to throw legal discs.
They decided that time violations weren't enough to stop Gannon, so they're just going to start checking every disc in his bag. Like, yeah, they're going to find one that's scaled just a little bit too heavy, and Gannon
wins the tournament random drug test.
Gannon's going to do a press conference at the end of the year and be like, listen, I don't know about these random drug tests, but I've been drug tested 17 times this year, and I just don't get it. I don't see the randomness in it.
I have to say, I feel kind of confident that Gannon Burr has never done drugs. We'll ask him next time.
Okay. Here's my problem. Ready for this, Charlie? Maybe this is a rampant problem in professional disc golf, and they've just done a great job keeping it under the rug. That's not my inclination. I don't think that's the case. And I get that we need to do these things as we advance in like the seriousness of the sport. But you know what else we need to do to advance in like our position in the sport? It's stats. And I would prefer stat keeping be in these minutes, not equipment checks. And I get that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. But if we really care about things like, you know, getting it into DraftKings and having sports betting, if we really care about continuing to advance the professionalism of sport, we've got to have accurate stat keeping, and we got to have stat keeping on all the cards, because when you have second cards in FPO or leaders of tournaments who have no stats for a couple rounds, you've got real problems. So cool, I guess. Not my priority.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about like compliance than it is about like stopping some scourge of illegal drug use and steroids and people using illegal discs. But like, do you think there are pros who are using illegal discs? I kind of doubt it.
Here's the problem is like, even if they are slightly out of compliance, it doesn't feel like a corked bat to me, right? It's not. Right. I don't think they're getting the kind of advantage that you can see in other sports. Like hockey, having a longer stick there are regulations about like how long your stick can be, and there are noticeable gains in power for players who play on sticks that are beyond regulation size, and it's why taller players have to get exemptions. So Zdeno Chara was like 7 foot, and so he had to get an exemption to the rule.
Be like, I can't lean that far over.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not playing field hockey here, guys. Like, I gotta have a real stick.
I gotta be honest, I did not know this as a hockey casual.
So there you go. And part of it is about like power loading and like slap shots and stuff, and how
better lever.
So like they're right. And so there's like, it makes sense to like about why those exist in some cases. And I guess maybe but the problem is it's not like the pros are using equipment that is substantially different than that of the general public. And so it's, and maybe they are, maybe disc golf manufacturers are making them different, but because of that, it's like you literally see videos of players going to the warehouse and just pulling discs out, and it's not like the manufacturer is going to manufacture a whole bunch of illegal discs for a player.
Exactly.
So,
the PDGA board approved the adoption of a digital-only membership without an increase in membership fees, and to charge for any add-on membership items that members want to include. Marketing will determine appropriate names for levels. So they are making a digital-only membership that would not allow you, presumably, to compete in events. I have no idea who this product is for.
I don't either.
But maybe they can find a way to create incentives there. Like,
maybe you still get DGN benefits?
Right. Like, maybe you can price it in a way that, like, it's cheaper to get that and then sign up for DGN. But, like, who's that good for?
Here's what I'll say. If you can find a way to make it like worth people's money to want a digital only membership when they don't compete often, it makes a lot of sense for purposes of like fundraising,
for sure,
other charity issues, right? Like if you literally like, hey, please just give us 50 cents so we can make you a digital member, right? Like that contributes to reports that the PDGA is going to leverage in order to try and continue to utilize their marketing power.
I mean, make it worth the money. People will sign up. It's that simple. It's just got to be worth the money.
How. Yeah.
PDGA members year over year now down a little over 6%. A lot of this is coming from just a pretty significant decrease in new member signups, like down over 30% in new member signups. We'll throw up on YouTube. We'll throw up the USA numbers from the year so far, so you can see that active membership is down 8% in the US. It's up a little bit internationally, which is why it's down 6% overall. New members down 33% year over year, and then renewals down 2% year over year. Notably, professional memberships are actually up, but amateur memberships are down over 9%. So I think what you're seeing here is like exactly what you might expect, which is that like professional disc golf is pretty healthy right now, and hardcore players are still hardcore, and we're still seeing like very modest growth there, but casual players are down across the board. And I think we're seeing everything you want, right? From anecdotes to the data, courses are less crowded, you name it, like stuff is just down.
Yeah. The other thing though that I will say is like, if they can keep those retention numbers within 5 points, I think that shows disc golf is like, I'm not ready to press a panic button, right?
No.
We knew that new membership was going to drop. We knew that number, we were not going to keep new memberships year over year at a crazy high rate. That was going to come. Okay, great. We're fine with that. We knew that was coming. As long as you can keep the retention, as long as we don't hemorrhage the players who are, have already signed up, and we can keep as many of those as possible, then I think it'll eventually catch back up as the new player growth continues. So it's no panic button, kind of what we expected. Kind of wish you'd seen, and I'm sure a lot of people were wishing it was a little bit better than it was. So,
IDGC, we know they've, that the beetle infestation, they took out all these trees. They're kind of rebuilding that entire property right now. Mm-hmm. So the PDGA board allocated $50,000 towards restoration. And the Warner course, I guess, is getting close to being back in action. A couple months ago, mulching was almost complete. So presumably that is now done. And that course is getting close. WR Jackson, I think, is still very much underway. I have not heard an update on new designer for that course yet. That's not in the minutes at all. No one has announced anything about that to my knowledge. So it may still be into 2026 that we see that happen. We know, of course, Champions Cup is going to be out in California next year, so they're not trying to rush it back for April. But my assumption is that they will have this course finished sometime by the summer of 2025, and we will see Champions Cup back in Georgia in 2026.
I think that's my feeling, my gut feeling about it as well.
Over 16,000 unique visitors reported on site for the Pro World Championships this year in Virginia. First time I've seen a number. And Josh, do you want to guess how many people were there on Championship Sunday?
What does European Open usually hit?
They have
55?
The high water mark was a little over 5,000 a few years ago. I think they've come in a little under that the last couple of years, but around that, between 4,000 and 5,000.
I'd presume Worlds is probably somewhere in that range as well. So, give me 4,500.
It's a good guess. It's actually a little above that. 5,100 people reported on site for Pro World's final day. I assume that includes staff and volunteers and things like that, but still a great number.
Good number, yeah.
I think it suggests we're going to see maybe the biggest disc golf spectator attendance of all time this summer in Finland for the Worlds. You think about the fact that this did so well, and with all of the excitement of having the Worlds in Europe and people knowing the date way, way, way in advance, I think we're going to see blowout numbers. Could we see 10,000 for Sunday? I wouldn't bet against it.
I would help that staff if we do. Holy smokes!
Under.
I'll be honest. Here's
99,001.
Give me the under. I think the number is going to be between 75 and 8.
Okay.
That's my number.
All right. Last thing in the PDGA Minute. This comes from the board minutes. We are working with the Stat Elite Working Group, which is basically the Statmando guys, who many of which have now been hired as full-timers at the PDGA.
Good for them. Good for Statmando.
They just hired Steve Timko, a.k.a. Statmando Steve.
Congratulations
in the last couple of months.
to Statmando.
Yeah, I know. These guys are doing cool stuff, and the PDGA is feels like they're really modernizing right now. We are working with the Stat Elite Working Group and the technology team to investigate data regarding average hole completion time versus tee time deltas at Elite Series events. Much has been made of pace of play issues in recent years, and several proposals attempting to address the problem have failed. Because, look at what we've seen, right? Mm-hmm. They were let's make timeouts on top of the 30-second rule. People didn't want that. Gone. Yep. Is the 30-second rule working? Maybe. Not great. Inconsistent enforcement. I continue. The data we are gathering will answer an important question. Are pace of play issues due to slow players, or due to overly large fields and or inappropriately short gaps between tee times, or some combination of both of those things?
I love this project This is a critical project.
Let's get down to the actual facts.
Yes. Love this. Here's what I will say that I'm a little bit afraid of. If they come back and say you need to reduce the field size by 25% in order to address pace of play issues, you're going to have serious purse problems, because disc golf purses are still, for the most part, in most tournaments, built on the back of the 1,000 rated players who are not going to be sniffing cash and who come to donate their money to Gannon Burr. That is, so if that's the conclusion of this study, we're going to have a hard chat about what's more important, pace of play, entertainment value, or is it purses? Do we have the sponsorship money to overcome that? But I'm glad we're like going into hard conversations about pace of play with data and not just spitballing it. So,
I mean, you can have both, I think. At some point the tournament gets too big and you run out of like slots. Right. But if you give more cushion, which they already do this, to the top cards that are tending to be filmed with more cameras, you can avoid the backup problems often.
Yeah.
That otherwise tend to pop up. I mean, it's interesting that they don't note, and like sort of implied, like there are certain holes that cause pace of play issues. Like if a hole is really hard and every group that goes through it gets rocked and people are throwing 8 shots.
I can't think of a hole like this.
I mean, everyone has the hole come into their head, whatever it is. We want to talk about Northwood. We want, you name it. Like there's certain holes that are going to create backups.
Yeah.
And sure, like you can say, well, let's dump the lower skill players, but even the higher skill players getting rocked by these holes sometimes.
Right.
So if you have long wooded par 5s that are really hard, you're going to have a pace of play problem. You're going to have backups.
You are.
And that's not really a problem of slow play, nor is it a problem necessarily of tee time deltas. Like in theory, if you expand the amount of time between cards, then you won't have backups. But what's realistic?
Right.
We're
not doing half an hour between cards.
But I mean, I won't say the tournament, but I literally went to tournament officials this year at a tournament I was commentating, and I said, can we add some time for the top cards? Because we're getting these backups that we don't need to have. And they had the space in the schedule, so they added time, and then it was fine.
Yeah.
So I do think that's one of the easiest ways to address what is the worst problem of slow play, which is backups.
Yep.
Backups are way worse than somebody taking 45 seconds on their shot.
I'm sorry.
In most cases.
I just do not want to watch players play hacky sack on PDGA.
God. Oh, crossword puzzle today. Ooh. It's like,
yeah.
Or we listen in to the most like mundane conversation you've ever heard. Like, I don't want to listen into this.
No, I don't. I don't either.
Yeah. All right, that is it for the PDGA Minute. And
it's worth noting, Charlie, the reason we did PDGA Minute is a big bundle with all sorts of stuff is because the PDGA just released 3 months worth of board minutes.
That's right.
Yeah, so we've been waiting, and we try and do
holding back.
Yeah, we try and do PDGA Minutes as a regular update, but that's kind of hard when we don't get the information at a regular interval sometimes. So there's your PDGA Minute dump.
Gonna be working to get the active sponsorship page all tidied up. There's a couple of items that need to get fixed over there. ultiworlddiscgolf.com/active-contracts, where you can check out the contracts for all the pro players. Kevin Jones, for instance, hasn't been updated yet to his new Innova contract that happened mid-season. So going to clean those things up as we get ready for contract season. And I'm excited to see how things shift here in the next few weeks. That is going to do it for today's show. We'll be back with you on Thursday. Just looking ahead, we will have one show next week. We'll be off for Thanksgiving. And we're lining up some interesting interviews. We've got some great topics coming your way. And tomorrow we're recording 2 Inside the Circle segments. We have to catch up from last week when my voice was unrecordable. And so we're doing bonus top fives. We had some great fun on the show doing top fives. We've got our bonus Inside the Circle for our Ultra World Disc Golf subscribers. And we are also doing our personal in the bags. So you want to know what Josh and I are throwing? We're going through our bags. We'll record both of those tomorrow in our Discord. So I hope you join us for that. And for Josh Mansfield, I'm Charlie Eisenhood saying so long. And we'll talk to you Thursday right here on The Upshot.